What's up, everybody? It's Dr. G. I hope you guys are doing good. So I am stopping by today to answer a question. I am in the hospital. I haven't quite started my shift this morning, so I figured I'd just go ahead and make this video real quick, okay? Pardon me if the camera's kind of shaking, just because I'm holding it. I'm sort of walking around here in the hospital. Alrighty, so the question is, actually, tell you what, guys, before we answer the question, let me take a second to appreciate you guys for subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate y'all work slowly but surely building this channel. Please go ahead, click that subscribe button, share, like, I totally appreciate that. Alrighty, so the question for today is, should you take USMLE Step 3 before starting residency, or should you wait till after you start residency? Well, I can only answer that question from experience, just because I took that exam a few months ago. And the thing is, before I started residency though, after I knew I was accepted and everything, I had been preparing to take Step 3 exam, but there was this delay from my school as far as like paperwork and all that, because with USMLE Step 3, they have to confirm that you've graduated medical school, all the whole crazy verification that goes into that process. So that caused me some delay, but my preference would have been to honestly write that exam before, because before I went in, I had asked a few people to, and they did tell me how first year residency was, the schedule would be crazy. And believe me, I can attest to that. It's a crazy schedule, because some days it's like you don't even know where you're supposed to be at, Say you're in surgery or whatnot, you might be in surgery in the morning, and then in the afternoon where you go for lectures. After you're done with lecture, then you might be in the clinic later on that afternoon, and who knows, you might even be on call at night. So it's more like, it's not sporadic, but at the same time, it's almost all over the place, especially for us that are on opposed family medicine, so we're everywhere, right? So that being said, that's the actual reason I think it would have made more sense for me to take USMLE Step 3 before I came in. Because the other thing too is, I don't know if you guys know of the ITE exam, which is the in-training exam for residency. So every specialty, they have theirs, and this is more like an exam that you take every year while you're in residency. So the program uses the ITE exam to see your readiness for the board exam. So you have an average score that you have to meet in your first year, second year, sort of builds up like that. So it's more like I was studying for that exam and also studying for Step 3 at the same time. And then add that to the crazy, ridiculous schedule. It's almost like you don't have a life, especially the first few months of residency. You're working, you're trying to navigate the system, trying to adjust, trying to get used to things, how they do things in residency. It's crazy. So my honest advice is, if you have the opportunity to take this exam before residency, by all means do it, by all means, because it saves you a lot of stress. Like, it decreases that stress level by the time you start residency, because when you do start residency, believe me, they expect you to hit the ground running. And orientation, residency orientation, geez, what's that, right? I mean, most times it's like a week. Our orientation was a week, and that's more trying to teach you like the EMR system they use and all that stuff, like basically how to get the right phone numbers, who to call for whatever it is that's going on. Just a week, that's all you got, and that's it. So imagine that, adding that to studying for Step 3. And the stress of it. People will say a lot of things about how, if you fail Step 3 exam, you might get kicked out of the program. Like, if you've taken it one or twice and then failed it, then possibly the program might dismiss you and stuff like that. So that's an added level of pressure, even though most times it doesn't happen. But I've heard about places where it's happened, where someone actually had to take it 3 times, failed it, and then their status, like in that residency, like became questionable. So all of that stress, and let me tell you, I'm the kind of person that if I have an exam looming over my head, my goodness, that literally sucks the life out of me, because I'm like, I have to get this thing out the way so I can have my life back. So for me, I got it out the way as soon as I came into residence, like a few months into residency. So that saved me a lot of stress. But if I could do it again, I definitely would have taken that exam before coming into residency. So guys, if you have the opportunity to take it before residency, by all means do it. Let me tell you why some people advocate for waiting until you start residency. The reason is, your so step 3 tests a lot of, it's more of a clinical knowledge, it's a clinical based exam. So people say, well, your actually the rotation, your medicine rotation in residency will help you perform better in step 3. In my experience, well, I had only done one block, which is 4 weeks of medicine rotation, and let me tell you, I don't think it made that much of a difference when it came to my step 3 exam, because everything you need to pass step 3 exam, it's in UWorld. It's actually in UWorld. The CCS portion of it, the multiple choice section of it, you can trust UWorld for that. And I'll make a separate video later on to tell you guys like how I studied for it, even while in residency, you know, how many questions I was doing a day, how I was able to squeeze time in to still study for it in spite of my ridiculous schedule. But I took it. I mean, I'm actually very impressed with my score. At this point, I was just hoping to pass, like not looking for any ridiculous, crazy score like for step 1 and step 2, because step 1, step 2, I feel like I studied my butt off. But for step 3, I was like, I mean, we're already here, right? So might as well just get it over with. But I was super, super impressed with my score, because it's like, oh, I wasn't expecting this one. But anyway, guys, I'll make a separate video for that to also tell you guys how I study for each of the step exams. But that's what I wanted to say about step 3. So if you're on the fence thinking, should I take it, should I not? And then there are also people that are like, listen, I don't want to study anymore before residency. I just want to take that time to chill, go on vacation, just enjoy my time before residency. That's okay too, because you may not have that kind of time again. So choose what works for you. A lot of people in my residency class, that's what most of us did. A lot of people did not take it before coming in, but I regretted not doing that, to be honest. If I could do it again, I'll take it before I came into residency, at least so I could have some time to sleep. You know what they say in residency, sleep is overrated, guys. Totally overrated. But that's it for now, guys. I will go ahead and get started on my shift. Please comment, send me a message if you have any questions, and do not forget to subscribe, guys. Come on, smash that subscribe button. I appreciate y'all. Y'all take care.